At exactly 9:47 p.m., she sits alone at the corner of the hotel bar, holding a glass she hasn't touched for 10 minutes. The ice inside has already melted, not because she's nervous, but because she doesn't need the drink. Across the room, the elevator doors slide open. Two figures step out, a man in a dark suit, a woman in a pearl necklace. They're laughing, comfortable, familiar, unaware. They don't see her yet. She watches them the same way a hunter watches prey, not with anger, but with patience. 4 years. 4 years since the night they shattered her life. And now, finally, they've walked straight back into it. The man checks his phone. He reads the message she sent an hour ago. Table by the window. I'll be there. He smiles, because he thinks this meeting is about money. He thinks this is a business opportunity, a deal that could save him. He has no idea it's a funeral for his past. The woman beside him adjusts her necklace, scanning the room. She looks nervous, not because of the meeting, but because deep down, she already feels it. That quiet instinct that tells you something is wrong, that feeling in your chest when your body knows the truth before your mind accepts it. They walk closer, still laughing, still blind, until the woman at the bar slowly turns her head. Their eyes meet. The man freezes first. His smile collapses mid-breath. His face drains of color like someone just pulled the plug on his body. The woman beside him follows his gaze, and when she sees her daughter sitting there, calm, composed, staring directly at them, her hand trembles. The pearl necklace slips through her fingers, hits the floor. She whispers a single word, her name. But the daughter doesn't respond. She doesn't stand. She doesn't speak. She doesn't even blink. She just lifts her glass and takes her first sip. 4 years ago, she ran from them without saying a word. Tonight, she's come back to finish the sentence. They stand there, trapped between walking forward and running away. The hotel lobby feels suddenly too small, too quiet, too exposed. The man swallows. He forces a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. He takes a step toward her, then another. Every step feels heavier than the last, because with each one, the past comes rushing back. If you want to uncover more chilling true crime stories and see justice exposed, subscribe to Crime Vaults as we bring light to the darkest true crime cases and never miss the secrets hidden in plain sight. The hotel room, the bed, the dress, the door opening. He stops 3 feet from her. She finally speaks. Her voice is steady, almost kind. Sit. The word lands like a command, not a request. They sit. The mother can't look at her. The man can't look away. The daughter sets her glass down slowly, carefully, as if she's afraid any sudden movement might break the moment. She studies them, not with hatred, but with curiosity, like she's seeing them for the first time. 4 years ago, they destroyed her wedding night. Tonight, they're about to lose everything else. The man tries to explain. He says her name, says he never meant to hurt her, says it was a mistake, says it's been eating him alive. She listens, nods, lets him talk, because she didn't come here for apologies. She came here for proof. The mother finally looks up. Her eyes are wet. Her voice is shaking. "We thought you were gone." The daughter tilts her head slightly. A small smile forms. "Gone?" she says. "No." She leans forward, lowering her voice so only they can hear. "I was just waiting." Silence wraps around the table, thick, heavy, the kind of silence that makes your ears ring. The man shifts in his seat. "Why are we really here?" he asks.
The daughter reaches into her purse, pulls out her phone, places it face down on the table, still recording. She looks at both of them and says, "Because 4 years ago, I walked into a room I can never forget." She pauses. "And tonight, you're both going to walk into something you can't escape." The mother's hands begin to shake. The man opens his mouth to speak, but no words come out, because in that moment, they finally understand. This meeting isn't about money. It isn't about forgiveness. It isn't even about revenge. It's about consequences. And for the first time since their secret began,
The hotel room, the bed, the dress, the door opening. He stops 3 feet from her. She finally speaks. Her voice is steady, almost kind. "Sit." The word lands like a command, not a request. They sit. The mother can't look at her. The man can't look away. The daughter sets her glass down slowly, carefully, as if she's afraid any sudden movement might break the moment. She studies them, not with hatred, but with curiosity, like she's seeing them for the first time. 4 years ago, they destroyed her wedding night. Tonight, they're about to lose everything else. The man tries to explain. He says her name, says he never meant to hurt her, says it was a mistake, says it's been eating him alive. She listens, nods, lets him talk. Because she didn't come here for apologies. She came here for proof. The mother finally looks up. Her eyes are wet. Her voice is shaking. "We thought you were gone." The daughter tilts her head slightly. A small smile forms. "Gone?" she says. "No." She leans forward, lowering her voice so only they can hear. "I was just waiting." Silence wraps around the table. Thick, heavy. The kind of silence that makes your ears ring. The man shifts in his seat. "Why are we really here?" he asks. The daughter reaches into her purse, pulls out her phone, places it face down on the table, still recording. She looks at both of them and says, "Because 4 years ago, I walked into a room I can never forget." She pauses. "And tonight, you're both going to walk into something you can't escape." The mother's hands begin to shake. The man opens his mouth to speak, but no words come out. Because in that moment, they finally understand. This meeting isn't about money. It isn't about forgiveness. It isn't even about revenge. It's about consequences. And for the first time since their secret began, they realize the story isn't theirs anymore. It belongs to her, and she's just begun telling it. But to understand how this moment was set in motion, we have to go back to the night it all started. It was supposed to be the happiest night of her life. The kind of night people remember forever. The kind of night that becomes a story you tell your children. The reception ended early, not because the guests were bored, but because everyone wanted to give the newlyweds space. Her mother was the last to hug her, held her a little too long, whispered, "I'm so proud of you." She didn't notice the way her mother avoided her eyes. She didn't notice her husband disappear halfway through the final toast. She didn't notice anything, because she was glowing. She arrived at the hotel first, still in her wedding dress, still wearing the ring, still smiling. The hallway was quiet, soft lights, thick carpet, the kind of silence that feels expensive. She reached the door to the suite, room 814. She laughed to herself as she searched for the key card. Her hands were shaking, not from fear, from excitement. She imagined him inside, maybe lighting candles, maybe nervous, maybe waiting on the bed. She slid the card, the light turned green, the door unlocked. She pushed it open, and the world stopped. The lights were already on, the curtains half open, the bed unmade. Her husband was there, sitting on the edge of the mattress, shirt unbuttoned, breathing hard. And standing in front of him was her mother, still wearing the same dress from the wedding, her back to the door, her hands on his shoulders. Time collapsed into a single frozen second. No screaming.
No gasping. No dramatic music. Just the sound of her own heartbeat. Too loud, too fast. Her mother turned slowly. Their eyes met. And in that moment, every memory she had of her childhood rearranged itself. Every hug, every phone call, every piece of advice, suddenly poisoned. Her mother's lips parted. She tried to speak, but no words came out. The husband stood up. His face went white. Not guilty white, terrified white, like someone caught in a crime they never thought they'd be punished for. He said her name, once, soft, like he was hoping she wasn't real. She looked at the bed. The sheets were wrinkled, not from sitting, from something else. The smell of perfume filled the room, not hers. Her mother whispered, "It's not what it looks like." But it was exactly what it looked like. The husband reached out. She stepped back, not because she was afraid of him, but because if he touched her, she knew she would break. She didn't cry. She didn't shout. She didn't ask questions because there was nothing left to ask. The truth was standing in front of her, breathing, undeniable. Her mother started to explain, said it just happened, said it started months ago, said it was a mistake.
A mistake that wore her wedding night. A mistake that waited in the bridal suite. A mistake that smiled at her across the dinner table. She looked at both of them, the two people who were supposed to protect her, love her, stand between her and the world, and realized they had been standing together the entire time, against her. She slowly removed her ring, placed it on the dresser, right next to her bouquet. The flowers were still fresh, white, pure, untouched. She walked past them, out of the room, down the hallway, still in her wedding dress, barefoot. No phone, no purse, no tears, just a hollow space where her future used to be. Behind her, the door remained open, the light stayed on, the bed still warm, and in that room, two people finally understood something they should have known from the beginning. Some betrayals don't end relationships, they create enemies, and this one had just created the most dangerous kind. A woman who had nothing left to lose.
She didn't go home that night. She didn't answer her phone. She didn't tell anyone what happened. She walked the streets until sunrise, still wearing the dress everyone had admired only hours earlier. Strangers stared, not because they knew the truth, but because something about her face told them this was not a celebration. By morning, her phone was vibrating non-stop. Missed calls, messages, voicemails. From him, from her mother, from relatives asking where she went. She turned the phone off. For 3 days, she disappeared. No social media, no explanations, no goodbyes. On the 4th day, she finally answered one call. Her husband's. His voice was shaking. He said it was a mistake. Said it was only physical. Said it started when her mother was lonely and he was confused. He said he still loved her. He said it meant nothing. She asked one question. How long? There was silence. Then he whispered, almost a year. A year of family dinners. A year of holidays. A year of smiles. A year of lies happening right in front of her. She hung up. Her mother left dozens of messages, crying, begging, saying she never meant for it to happen, saying she felt guilty every day, saying she still deserved forgiveness. One message ended with, "I'm still your mother."
That was the moment something inside her finally died. Because a mother doesn't sleep with her daughter's husband. A mother doesn't wait for her daughter's wedding night. A mother doesn't build a secret inside her child's life and call it love. She blocked both of them, changed her number, deleted her accounts, packed one suitcase, and left the city without telling anyone where she was going. Behind her, the story exploded. Family chose sides. Friends demanded explanations. Her husband told people it was complicated. Her mother told people it was mutual. Both of them told people she was overreacting. No one told the truth, because the truth made them monsters. Weeks turned into months. The husband sent emails, letters, even showed up at her old job. Her mother tried through relatives, through church, through guilt. But she never responded. Not once. Not a message, not a word. To them, it felt like she vanished. But she didn't disappear. She was rebuilding. Not her marriage, not her family. Herself. New city, new job, new name. No photographs, no reminders, no past. At night, she replayed the same memory over and over. The door opening, the bed, the silence. But over time, the pain changed. It stopped being sharp and started becoming focused, controlled, like something being sharpened instead of healed. Because while they believed she was moving on, she was remembering everything, every detail, every lie, every face they made when they realized they'd been caught. And in that quiet new life, she made one promise to herself. She would never confront them in anger. She would never scream. She would never beg. Because one day, they wouldn't need to wonder how much they hurt her. They would feel it. She chose a city where no one knew her name. No one asked questions. No one recognized her face. She rented a small apartment with white walls and empty rooms, and for the first time in her life, every sound belonged only to her. No footsteps behind doors, no voices in the kitchen, no memories hiding in corners. She changed her hair, changed her clothes, stopped wearing rings, stopped celebrating anniversaries. She told people she was divorced. She never said why, because the story still felt unreal when spoken out loud. At first, she focused only on survival, working long hours, saving money, building a routine. But time didn't erase the past. It reorganized it. The pain didn't fade. It settled, like something living quietly under her skin. Some nights she would wake up convinced she heard the hotel door opening again. Other nights she would dream of her mother's face, frozen in that moment of being caught. And one night, sitting alone in her apartment, she finally opened a new email. She typed 2 names, the ones she never said out loud anymore, and wrote a single subject line: business opportunity. She stared at the screen for a long time before pressing send, not because she was unsure, but because once this started, there was no turning back. The email looked harmless. No emotion, no history, no names they would recognize. Just a professional message, a potential investment, a private client, a confidential meeting. High reward, low risk. Exactly the kind of thing he was desperate for. Because 4 years after the affair, his life had begun to crack. Not publicly, not dramatically, but quietly. His career had stalled. His reputation followed him in whispers. People still trusted him, but not the way they used to. And her mother lived with a different kind of fear. The fear of being forgotten. The fear of being judged. The fear that one day her daughter would come back. So when the invitation arrived, neither of them questioned it. They didn't investigate the sender. They didn't research the company. They didn't wonder why the meeting was set at a luxury hotel in the same city where everything began. They only saw what they wanted to see: an opportunity, a reset, a chance to finally move forward. He replied within minutes. She encouraged him to go, told him it felt like a sign. Neither of them realized it was. The day of the meeting arrived. He wore his best suit, practiced his pitch, rehearsed his smile in the mirror. She insisted on coming with him, said she didn't trust business deals anymore, said she wanted to support him. But the truth was simpler. She felt uneasy. Not logically, not emotionally, physically. Like her body was warning her about something her mind couldn't name. The hotel looked familiar. Same marble floor, same glass walls, same faint smell of perfume in the air. Neither of them mentioned it. They signed in, waited in the lobby, checked their phones. The message came through. "Table by the window, I'm here." They walked forward, laughing, relaxed, almost excited. They didn't see her at first, because they weren't looking for her. They were looking for a stranger, a business partner, a new beginning. Instead, they found the past, sitting calmly at a bar, already waiting, already watching, already in control. And in that moment, before she turned around, before they saw her face, before the truth landed, they were still free, still unaware, still believing this meeting was about money, not realizing they had just walked into the final chapter of their own confession. And for the first time since that wedding night, the trap was no longer in her memory. It was real, and it had just closed behind them. They sit across from her, but neither of them feels seated. It feels more like standing on the edge of something they can't see. The man tries to smile again, the same smile he used 4 years ago, the same one that failed then. It fails now. He clears his throat. "This isn't what I expected," he says. She nods. "That's how I felt too." Silence stretches between them. Not awkward, not tense. Heavy, like something waiting to fall. Her mother finally speaks. Her voice is softer than he remembers. Older, tired. "We thought you were gone," she says. The daughter studies her face. The wrinkles, the fear, the guilt that came too late. "Gone?" she repeats. "No, I was just learning." They look confused. She reaches for her phone and places it on the table, face up this time. A red dot glows on the screen. Recording. The man notices first. His posture changes. He straightens, swallows. "What is this?" he asks. "Insurance," she replies. The mother's hands begin to shake. "You're recording us?" She smiles faintly. "You recorded my life for a year without my consent. You can handle 10 minutes. The man laughs nervously. "This is unnecessary." She leans forward. Her voice stays calm, almost gentle. "Tell me the truth. Here. Now. On record." They hesitate. She waits. Not angry, not impatient, because she already knows what they're going to say. She just needs them to say it themselves. The man exhales. "It started before the wedding," he admits. "We didn't plan it, but it kept happening." The mother looks at him, then at her daughter. Tears form. "I was lonely," she says. "I didn't think you'd find out." The daughter nods slowly. "And waiting until my wedding night? That was just coincidence?" No one answers, because there is no answer that doesn't sound like a confession. She lets the silence breathe. Then she presses a button on her phone. A second recording begins playing. Their voices, from years ago. Voicemails, messages, apologies, lies. Everything they ever said when they thought no one else was listening. The man's face collapses. The mother covers her mouth. They finally understand. This wasn't a meeting. It was a courtroom. And they had just testified against themselves. She stands up, not dramatically, not triumphantly, just finished. "I sent this to your employers," she says, "to your church, to the family group chat, to your lawyers." The man's voice cracks. "You can't do this." She tilts her head. "I already did." The mother reaches for her hand. "Please, I'm still your mother." The daughter looks down at her for a long time, then gently removes her hand. A mother doesn't sleep with her daughter's husband. She picks up her phone, stops the recording, and walks away. They don't follow her. They can't. Because for the first time in their lives, they are finally trapped inside the truth. Weeks later, everything collapses. Jobs lost. Friends disappear. Family cuts contact. The story spreads faster than they can explain it. The man blames the mother blames the man. They stop speaking. They stop pretending. They stop being anything at all. And she disappears again. No interviews, no celebration, no revenge posts. Just silence. Years later, she sends one final message to both of them. The same sentence. "You ruined one night of my life. I ruined the rest of yours. We're even." The narrator ends, "Some betrayals are accidents. Others are choices. And the most dangerous revenge isn't violence. It's letting people live inside the consequences of who they chose to be."
If you want to uncover more chilling true crime stories and see justice exposed, subscribe to Crime Vaults as we bring light to the darkest true crime cases and never miss the secrets hidden in plain sight.